What do you think is the best way to make progress on the bench press? Just keep adding weight every time you train. Bench press at every workout. I max out at every training session. If any of these sounds like you, let us know in the comment below, because I'm here to tell you that none of these will actually work on the long terms. Do you enjoy being stuck with the same weights God knows from when? Are you motivated enough to put in the time and effort to actually make progress? Do you enjoy heavy lifting? I think we all share the same answers to those questions. I remember the time I was stuck at 100 kilos and it took years before the frustration, the pain and the anger reached such a high level that I wanted to give up. Instead, I went to do a lot of research and I read a lot of material on how to make an effective strength training program. I wanted to change the way I was training and I was ready to try something new and see what sort of results would present. So the first method I tried was a Texas program. I gave it a go for 12 weeks and I found it extremely simple, maybe too simple compared to what I was used to. I was a bit skeptical at the beginning, but 12 weeks later my 1 rep max actually increased by 7.5 kilos, which is not bad at all considering it was only for a 12 weeks period. After all, it takes time to grow your numbers and everybody grows at different rates. Not to mention there is always a possibility to get injured while you're training. I was personally very happy because I've seen the needle moving forward finally. So with today's video, guys, I'm here to share with you a very simple but hard program that you can plug in into your training routine that will help you to make some progress on your bench press. I will show you all the details in a moment, but you don't need to make any notes because I provided for you a PDF format that you can easily download by clicking on the link on the description area. To succeed, we need to make a plan that is simple but also smart. It needs to be specifically designed for your goal in mind. It needs to be measurable. So in that case, we're talking about percentages and tracking possibly. It needs to be actionable. It's something that you actually that you're capable of doing. It should not be exercises that are overcomplicated. It needs to be realistic. I mean, if your bench press is at the moment at 100 kilos, don't expect it to be at 150 kilos after 12 weeks of training. That's totally unrealistic. In reality, focus more on making progress of any sort and then test at the end. And then it needs to be time scaled. So we have a 12 weeks program, so we know it's going to be a 12 weeks training period, and we are possibly going for a test right at the end. Every good program is going to talk about intensity. For me, intensity is an umbrella term for when we talk about sets and reps, tempo, rest, percentage of 1 rep max and RPEs, and frequency. Frequency plus reps and sets plus percentage of 1 rep max, it will give you the total volume of work that you're doing throughout the week. I've taken only 2 weeks for the program. You're gonna see all the rest on your PDF, but we can discuss here the main points and the main goals of the program. This is just a plug-in program. What does it mean? It means that you're gonna have only the focus exercise that we are talking about. So today is the bench press, and you can add those into your actual working routine that you already have. I will take off any sort of bench press or triceps exercise from your actual program and keep everything focused on only those. It is divided on 3 days. We are going to have a 3 days bench press, and we are having different intensity on every day. So we are having a high intensity, low intensity, and medium intensity. We are also having some changes on the exercises between week 1 and week 2. So there is a rotation on the exercise and some other changes like reps and sets. One exercise that will remain constant throughout your program is the competition bench. It's not the classic touch and go bench. Competition bench has some sort of pause when the bar is at the lowest, so when it's contact with your chest, with your sternum. A slight progression to the competition bench for me is a tempo bench, and that's something that I always suggest to my clients to do. The tempo bench is going to increase the length of the repetition you're doing to the point that you can actually have more control over the barbell. You're going to feel your muscles working harder, and your brain is going to have the time that it needs to process where the barbell is and what you're supposed to do next. And I find this to be especially great for those that are not good with the leg drive. If you don't know what the leg drive is, I'm gonna leave a link up here for you to go and have a look at our leg drive video. So on day 2, I also add dips. I know most of you will not like to do that, but I find them to be essential for strength gaining. On day 3, with the medium intensity, we are going to work on a close grip bench press, followed by skull crushers. Moving to the second week, we're going to have again competition bench. Now we are going to have a wide grip bench press. So this will emphasize more your work on, the stretch on the chest. So we are going for hypertrophy in this case. And dips again. The W next to the dips indicates weighted. I know most of you might not be able to do the weighted dips at the beginning, but you can add some weights once the repetitions will go down. And then day 3, we're gonna have again a medium intensity with close grip bench press and skull crushers. Let's look now at sets and reps. First week, 3x6 at a 70% of 1 rep max. So they're not super heavy, there are not many reps, so they need to be controlled. When we have 6 reps, your tempo needs to be controlled. 2 seconds, maybe 3 on the way down, and then explosive when you bring the barbell up. Second exercise, the tempo bench press, and in this case, you wanna control the weight for 10 reps. Your rest time between sets here, it should not be long, no more than a minute really. And you're possibly considering going to from 50% to 60% of 1 rep max. And then we have the dips, 3 times your max. If you can do 3, 4, fine. Try to work on it and see how many you can do after maybe the first 4 weeks. After that, we're gonna have reps and sets all pre-prepared. And if you find them to be too light, you can add some weights. On the third day, we are going to have a close bench press with 3x8 at 65% of your 1 rep max on your bench press. That should be plenty for triceps work. And again, it's an 8 reps. You don't want to go too fast. We are not talking about how many reps you can do in a minute. You want to gain control, you want to build muscle, and to do that, you need to have a controlled tempo. And then at the end, we have the skull crusher, 3x12. See what sort of weight you can manage, just keep a track of it. We are not looking at percentage work in this case. You just use what you think is gonna create a reasonable impact to your muscle mass. For those who don't know what a tempo is, that's the time that it takes to perform 1 single rep. And it's generally divided into 3, possibly 4 parts. So I will make some notes here so you will remember. So let's say you're holding the bar at the top of your bench press for 1 second, okay? Then you lower the bar really slowly, so you're gonna control your tempo and you're gonna take maybe 3 seconds. At the bottom, you're gonna pause for 1, maybe 2 seconds. And then explosively, you're gonna bring the barbell back up again. So you perform your bench press and you try to do it as quick as possible, so 1 second. So in this case, your tempo is going to be 1, 3, 2, 1 or 1, 3, 1, 1, okay? So if you find this kind of indicative tempo on your programs, you know what to do. Going back to the plan, day 1 on the week 2 competition bench, now the percentage has gone up a little bit, but the reps has gone a little bit lower. So we are doing a 3x5 at a 75% of your 1 rep max. Yes, it's gonna feel heavier, but you're doing less work. On the day 2, we are going for a 3x12 for the wide grip bench press. Week 1, we had a 3x10 on the tempo. Obviously, it's because this is going to take much longer to perform. Here, I'm not asking you to have a slow tempo as you did on this case. You're going a little bit faster, but you want to make sure that you go wide enough to feel a good stretch on your bench press. If you're not sure about what you're doing for the wider grip, I have another video on how to grow your chest by using the bench press, and I'm going to give you another link just up here. Dips will be there for week by week, 3 times your max again, record how many reps you're doing and see if you're making an improvement. Then again, day 3, you're having a close grip bench press, 3x8 at 65%, and then skull crushers, you do the same, 3x12 for whatever you can handle. If you wish to increase the skull crusher weights week after week, if you feel confident, go ahead. On that case, for the skull crushers, you can work on RPEs, which is rate of perceived exertion. How bad it feels from 1 to 10. It feels a 7 out of 10 at the end. I will say you're possibly on the right number. You don't want it to exceed the RPEs when you train for lighter weights. But if you think like, oh no, there was a 6 or a 5, I could have done so many more reps with the weight, feel free to go up in weights on the same session. Remember guys, that this is only a 2 weeks example. You're gonna find the full program for a 12 weeks period on a PDF in the description area. So go and have a look, click on the link, download the PDF format. You can print it and bring it with you, or just copy and paste onto your actual routine and see what happens after 12 weeks. Retest. If you need any help on performing your 1 rep max stacks, more than happy to help you out. And on our next video, we are going to release our first episode of the Strength Training Encyclopedia that is totally focused on bench press. It's an A to Z, it's a 101 bench press episode, and it would be great, guys, if you can let us know what you think about that. If you don't want to miss out any of our content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give it a like as well. It will help with the algorithm. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you on the next one. Ciao!